Hello everyone. The clip you're about to hear is from an exclusive Patreon episode of Horror Queers. If you'd like to hear the full episode, just visit patreon.com/horrorqueers and subscribe today. Now, because we use some real fucking naughty language, we are considered an explicit podcast and thus will not show up in Patreon search engine. So you have to use the link, or if you're tech savvy, just Google Horror Queers Patreon and we'll pop right up. Subscribing at the $5 level will get you 2 full-length bonus episodes on new horror films, 2 minisodes, and a newsletter each month. Don't have $5? That's okay. We also have a $3 level that will get you the monthly newsletter and 2 minisodes each month. And without further ado, here is your exclusive Patreon clip.
God, I loved it. I'll send you a copy. Bam! Bitch went down.
Man, I really wish they would have set this movie in Mexico or like anywhere in Latin America and
Yep.
like make it like a mom telling her kids the story of La Llorona and then like boom, like it's like Bloody Mary, you tell the story and she comes after you, like she knows.
Yeah, or even something along the lines of it's a small community and it's not a
and she's
family.
plaguing the whole
It's
community.
Like
yeah,
like she's going from door to door kind of deal, so you don't know where she's coming from or something like that.
And you can put the religion into it because honestly, like those religious movies, like they do well because people find things based off of religion scary. Like that's why The Exorcist is considered one of the scariest movies ever made, because it scares people's foundational beliefs of what happens after you die.
Mm-hmm. That, and people are like, I don't know if I believe in a higher power, or if I do, what happens if I have that belief and it doesn't fucking help me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Honestly, the movie started and I was like, oh, Linda Cardellini, I really like you. And it was maybe 2 scenes into the present day stuff. Present day, 1973.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 scenes into that 1973 action. And all I could think about was, I feel really pandered to. Like, this movie feels like the studio did not trust that I would invest in a fucking Mexican protagonist. So they were like, okay, we're going to cast Linda Cardellini and we're going to write around it to make it more, I don't want to say palatable because I always say palatable, but more fucking palatable to like white people.
Well, and as shitty as this sounds, you're probably right in that the studio did think that because
100%.
Americans don't like immigrants, generalizing, obviously. Look at our fucking president, I'm surrounded by people who are like-minded in the sense of like, Austin's a very liberal city in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems that the majority of America doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. But it's crazy because you talked about how this film overperformed, and I saw something earlier today that said that 49% of the audience was Latino.
Really?
Yeah. I can't remember if it was like a reliable box office website, but if you look at films that are catering to minority and diversity, they have a tendency to overperform. Like, this is why we have the fucking Fast and the Furious franchise.
Well, also, even look at those shitty-ass Tyler Perry movies. Those are the most garbage movies in the world, but he caters to a black audience who, they go to those movies because even though they're shitty-ass movies, they don't get to see themselves represented on screen very often. And so those movies, make a lot of money.
Yeah, they make a lot of money. They get a bit of a bump because people are saying, like, thank you for actually making the goddamn effort.
Yeah.
And you're also, to a certain extent, like, you're advancing the political agenda. Like, you are saying we're trying to make films that reflect diverse audiences and the actual fucking makeup of the world in which we live.
Yeah.
Like, the best thing I can say about this film is that it's led mostly by women.
Yeah.
And then it kind of stops because the characters are not strong. Like, you still need to bring in the man to come in and solve the problem. Like, Linda Cardellini doesn't do jack shit to save her fucking kids in this movie.
You're right.
Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I don't even get my female empowerment. I get a funny person of color, and then I get, like, a blando white lady protagonist, and then I get, plucky/stupid children.
Well, and the one female person of color who could help her is, made out to be the villain.
Yeah. It boggles the mind. It's not a deal breaker in the way that I don't want the movie to fail because of it, but I feel like it's such a missed opportunity. And that's what frustrates me the most.
That's kind of the thing, though. Like, I think it's people being unaware. I don't think it's intentionally malicious in its casting or its storytelling, but it seems like just very dumb people behind it.
I don't know. I feel like bean counter people were looking at this like, well, if we cast who's a famous Mexican actress? Oh, I can't name a single one. So I don't think we should go that direction.
Or any Latina or Spain. I guess you can't go to Spain because it's not really a Spanish legend. But like, where's Penelope Cruz from?
No, but I mean, honestly, you could go with any actress from South America because this legend, I mean, they don't always call them La Llorona, but they have them in virtually every different South American country. They got it in Peru,
Guatemala, Nicaragua, Brazil.
Yeah.
Brasilia.
The fact that they've all got the same idea, like, even part of me was like, you could have set this in a really interesting, foreign, exotic location.
Oh, a jungle. Give me a jungle.
Well, or just something that could have been like, hey, we're putting a visual stamp on this film to make it different from these other films that are set in, like, generic suburbia.
Yeah. But then they couldn't have the priest from Annabelle just happen to... No, he could have been on a mission. He could have been on a mission somewhere.
It could have been young Father Perez. I've encountered this thing before. Back in my 20s.
Yeah.
Give me hot priest. I love a hot priest.
Get in, losers. This is the Lady Killers, a Feminine Rage podcast. I'm Jen.
I'm Sammy.
I'm Rocco.
And I'm May. Our podcast is a tribute to the female-identifying killers in horror and more.
Each episode will feature us, your Supreme Court of female murderers, discussing our favorite lady killers, from your Julias and Jennifers to your Carries and Christines.
We'll tell her story, decide if it's good for her horror, and answer the most important question of all. Would we die for her?
Join us on Thursdays as we pull on our sweaters, snatch our ice picks, sharpen our scissors, and honor the lady killers who live on the silver screen.
No boys were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Yet.
Hello, I'm Shelby Scott, the host of Scare You to Sleep, a podcast where I tell you spooky bedtime stories full of creepy sound effects and music that is soothing yet unsettling to help immerse you into a world of horror. This is a show for those of us who have realized horror can be a strange but relaxing escape from reality. Speaking of escapes, sometimes I lead you through guided nightmares, like a guided meditation, but instead of flowery meadows, I take you on a journey through your own personal nightmare. So come get lost in the terror with me. Listen to Scare You to Sleep wherever you listen to podcasts, or find us online at bloody.fm. Sweet screams.